I think I'm on. It's 3 o'clock. How's everybody doing today? Tuesday. It is a Tuesday. I don't know about you, but now that I'm working from home, it seems so much later in the week than just Tuesday. Um, I'm not sure if you feel the same way, but it seems like the days, even though they're very, very busy, are moving slower and slower. It's a strange phenomenon. Anyway, hey, Ryan's here, Owen's here, great. If you get a chance to see Owen's broadcast, if you have not yet seen it, it is very, very good today, and it's always very good, Owen. But you should check it out because he's got a beautiful voice. Owen Lovejoy, look for him. He's one of my friends on Facebook, and you will feel good about listening to him. He has very positive messages, and he's got a gorgeous voice. And hopefully, I've got one of those. Anyway, so if you've read my little blurb there, it says that no one asked me a question. Um, so my mind is sort of going to random places because unless somebody focuses me, I don't promise anything. Um, and strangely enough, because today was so busy, because I was working pretty hard on some projects for work today, um, my mind went away from theater and went to science. For those of you who don't know, my day job is working for Discovery Cube, the Children's Science Museum. And for the last several years, um, before I became a manager, I was an instructor going out to schools and teaching science assemblies. And I started by doing too late, Frank. I am going to talk about what I planned on doing, so don't try to ply with me with your questions, but ask them anyway. I might get to them later on. Um, anyway, most of the assemblies that I would teach would be about water. And I started thinking today um, that we could really do much worse than using water as a role model for our lives. So that's sort of what I wanted to talk about today. The properties of water and how we can incorporate those into our life. Uh, First and foremost, water has always been and always will be. It does. We have the same amount of water on Earth today that we've always had. Um, we don't create more, we don't lose any. It's always the same, it stays constant. And it's a really nice way of looking at ourselves, one way or the other, whether in this form or another. We are constant, we will go on. So it's kind of comforting to think of ourselves that way. Now, the amazing thing about water that we should all strive to emulate is the fact that it changes form. It's in constant motion, it's in constant flux. It goes from a solid to a gas to a liquid. And over and over and over again, you all know, you learned about the water cycle when you were a little kid. But it never loses its essence. It is always the same molecule, it's always H2O. And it's that way whether it is a solid, whether it's a liquid, or it's a gas. But each of those various forms have their own very specific properties. Now, what does that say to us? It says we can change. We should change. Change is natural. We should constantly be in motion because, think about it, you would much rather drink water that's in motion than that which is stagnant, right? So, it's a much healthier way of being in motion, in a state of change constantly. And just because you're changing doesn't mean you're going to stop being you. You're always going to be you. You're just going to be a different form of you. So that's the first thing I really wanted to stress here today is that that lesson coming from the study of water is essential. You can change. You should change. You should never stop moving. But it's not going to change who you are. Now, secondly, when water is in motion, it is always going to be moving in a direct line to its final goal. It's always going to take the easiest route. Taking the easy route is not a bad thing, but the amazing thing is it's always going to be heading toward its final destination. Now, for water, that's usually downhill because of gravity. We don't need to be moving downhill, but we should have a destination and we should continue moving toward it. Now, water comes up against obstacles all the time. Man-made obstacles, natural obstacles. But the key about water is that it will find a way around or over or, given time, through. It will get to its destination. Sometimes it takes a little longer. Sometimes it takes a little more effort. But it will get there. And we can do that too. If we have the destination in mind, we can continue moving toward it, even if we have to take detours, even if we have to take a long time to dissolve the obstacle in front of us. Now, that's the main focus here. That's what I really wanted to talk about. And there is one other very essential thing about water. That essential thing is every living thing needs it. We are all important to each other. We are all essential to the well-being of each other. You can be the nourishment that other people need. And that is a very important thing to keep in mind. When you feel down, when you feel unimportant, you need to trust in the fact that there's somebody out there that needs you around and that you are performing a very valuable job for, whether it's simply just being there. So that's something that you need to know, the inherent value of every one of us. Like water, nothing survives without us. And even when we are long gone, long after our physical body dies, people will be sustained by the things that you've done, by the lessons they've learned from you. And that sustenance should be important to you because you matter. And no matter what form you may take, you are going to make a difference. You will carve out your own Grand Canyon by the deeds that you do without worrying about why you're doing it or the final outcome. Just by that forward motion, little by little, tiny successes here and there, you will build a monument. So be like water. Send me questions so that you don't have to hear this kind of diatribe on a daily basis. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Remember, take care of yourself. Stay a nice social distance away from people. But if you see them walking around, if you're out walking your dogs, if you're just taking a stroll and you see people, eye contact doesn't pass the coronavirus. Remember that. You can make eye contact. You can wave. You can shout out, hello, have a good day, be happy. It's nice to see people out there. And just don't go over and give them a hug for a while. Let that come back later. All right. So be good. Wash your hands. See how clean my hands are? I still have skin on them. It's amazing. And take care of yourself, and I'll see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Take care. Love you.